So what are we doing today? Today we're diving into the 10 items of clothing that are often labelled as being tacky by the fashion world, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on them. And let me know how many of the items from this list you currently own, and what made you buy them in the first place. If you like this video at any point and it doesn't upset you too much, then please do drop it a like. And now that's all out the way, let's get into the first bit of tack, animal print. Now, animal print has always had a bit of a bad reputation, especially leopard print, and I can see why. It's hard to style well, but it's very easy to make look tacky. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I never thought I'd wear animal print. I absolutely hated it. But these days, I have a few pieces in my wardrobe that I really enjoy styling. And I've got my wife to thank for that, because she's always worn it regardless of what others think. And the way she styles it allowed me to see how well it can be styled. But the reason I think it gets such a bad reputation is because of two things. Firstly, it's extremely loud and in your face, so it's really easy to overdo. Just have a look at this outfit, for example. I bet your eyes are immediately drawn to the shoes, even though they're the smallest part of the outfit. And usually I think the less is more approach is the best approach with this one, although I have seen some people style a lot of it well. And the second reason I think it gets such a bad reputation is because a lot of the cheaper fast fashion brands produce a lot of it, which cheapens its look. But on the plus side for animal print, it is having a bit of a moment in the fashion world right now, whether you like it or not. It's currently on trend, so people are starting to warm to it. People aren't warming to the next one on the list as much though, and it's leather trousers. Now, from my experience, leather trousers have always been seen as a bit of a joke. I still remember that episode in Friends where Ross wore a pair, and it was the running joke throughout the whole episode. But I think the main reason these are seen as tacky is because of how flashy they once were. A lot of glam rock bands would wear them, and a lot of pop stars would wear them. So when the average Joe on the street wears a pair, it can be seen as them trying too hard. Leather's also associated with being a bit rebellious. A lot of the rock scene wears it, and a lot of the punk scene wears it. So when you don't fit that image, it can look a bit tacky on you. Personally, leather trousers aren't for me. I don't like the way they feel on my legs either, but I have seen people style these well. And they are making a little bit of a comeback in the fashion world right now, even though I don't think they're going to be widely adopted. But whatever people think of leather trousers, I don't think they think they're as tacky as this next one, and it's neon. Now, you probably saw this one coming. Get it? Neon? It's bright? No? Anyway, it is easy to make look tacky in my opinion. And I think the reason for this one looking tacky a lot of the time is quite obvious. It's really loud and it's really in your face, so it's hard to style. It's also associated with rave culture and something you'd wear to a club, so wearing it casually on the street can look like you're dressed for a night out. A lot of cheaper fast fashion brands also sell a lot of neon, which cheapens its look even further, and I think it's safe to say that this is one I don't think I'll ever wear. The only places I feel neon works is in safety, in the club, or in the cybergoth scene. I think their style is very visually striking, and although it's not something I'd wear myself, I love to see it. Something I don't always love to see is the next one on this list, and it's oversized suiting. Now, when done well, oversized suits can look amazing, but when they're done badly, they can look really sloppy. And the classic line that comes to mind here is it can look like you raided your dad's wardrobe, and no one wants to hear that when they're trying to look sharp in a suit. Traditionally, as we all know, a suit is supposed to fit you just right, so an oversized suit goes against this, which is why a lot of people think it looks tacky. But if a tailored suit doesn't fit you well, it can also look tacky, and I think that's the key here. If any element of a suit is off, it's not going to look good, no matter what the style. And when it comes to oversized suits, I think there's a lot more room for error, and a lot of people don't style them well, which is why they get a bad reputation. But when you get the balance and the proportions just right, I think they can look very striking. But what do you think? Do you think oversized suits look tacky? Let me know in the comments, but we need to move on to graphic t-shirts next. Now, for me, when it comes to graphic tees, it all depends on what's on your t-shirt. If you've got some kind of comedy tee or a slogan tee, it can look very tacky, so I'd personally avoid those. Personally, I sometimes like to wear music merch because music is such an important part of my life that I like to show a bit of that through my style. So I think graphic tees can be a great thing to wear to help you express yourself, and they can help you connect with other like-minded people. So yeah, for me, they can look very childish, but then they can also be a great thing to wear. But let me know your thoughts on this. But I think a lot of people are going to have some strong feelings on this next one, and it's people wearing non-prescription glasses. Okay, so hear me out on this one. People still wear ties, even though we don't need to wear ties anymore. We sometimes wear belts, even if our trousers fit perfectly at the waist. We wear jewelry to help decorate ourselves, and all of these things are heavily praised by the fashion community. But when it comes to wearing frames around your eyes to add some detail to an outfit, but you don't need to wear glasses, it's a massive no. It doesn't really make sense, or does it? I think this one's because there's plenty of people out there who have to wear glasses, they've got no choice, they have to wear them in order to see. So if you wear them as a fashion accessory and you don't need to wear glasses, it can be seen as a bit tasteless maybe, and a little bit tacky. Personally, I don't have a problem with this one, and no one's gonna know if your glasses are real or not, unless they try them on. But I know a lot of you aren't gonna see eye to eye with me on this one. But let's move on. So next we've got pre-distressed clothing. Now this is a very well-known one, and I can see the reasoning behind why people think this is tacky. Why would you pay for brand new clothing that looks like it's been dragged through a hedge? And I kind of agree. I say that, but I still do buy pre-distressed clothing, and I love it, but it has to be done tastefully. And what's tastefully, you may ask? Well, that's going to depend on the individual, but for me, less is definitely more here. I don't want my brand new clothing to look like it's on its last legs, but a bit of distressing can give the clothing some character. I don't know about you, and this might be just a me thing, but when I rip a piece of clothing accidentally myself, I can't stop looking at the rip, and I start to really worry about it getting worse. But with pre-distressed clothing, that worry isn't there because I bought the clothing knowing where the rips are. Does that make sense? Probably not, but it is what it is. Now I know a lot of you hate this one and a lot of you love it, so let me know where you stand in the comments. But let's move on to the next one, wearing sweats in public. So things have come a long way in the past few years with this one, but it wasn't so long ago where wearing sweats in public was seen as being as tacky as it gets. And I can easily see the logic behind this one. We usually wear sweats to go to the gym in or to slob about the house in, so they're as casual as it gets. So wearing them out in public can look a little bit slobby. And there's still a lot of people who feel this way, although the majority have got used to it now. So if you like to wear sweats casually, there's no reason to sweat this one. Go and get them on and get out there. Although you should never sweat worrying about what people think of your outfit anyway. Actually, maybe you should with this next one, and it's wearing heavily branded designer clothing. Now, I think most of us are going to agree on this one, but I think it's very rare that heavily branded designer clothing looks good. Of course, there's always the odd exception, but this one to me just screams, look at me and look how expensive my clothing is. It just comes across very try-hard, very attention-seeking, and very tacky in my opinion. Heavily branded designer clothing is also the thing that gets faked the most. So even if you're wearing the real deal, most people think it's fake anyway. But real or fake, I think it's safe to say that this is another one that I think I will never wear. I hope not anyway. And I hope I won't wear this next one either. And it's thonged flip-flops, or just thongs. Now, unless you wear these around the pool or to the beach, this one is grim. So out of all of these, I wear 3 of them: leopard print, graphic tees, and pre-distressed clothing. So I'm a fairly tacky man. But let me know what you scored out of 10, and are you gonna beat me? We'll see. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave it a like. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you later, Style Slayer. Was that a tacky enough way to end the video? No? Well, how about this one? Stay Gucci, baby. Oh, God.